Welcome back to Boys Under the Hood. Pat Kelly joined by James Stevenson, owner of Precision Auto in West Springfield. We're also joined by Paul Frasco, owner of Pro and Local Detailing in Connecticut, here to share his story. The first thing I'd like to point out is that he carries this bottle of vodka around. So does that gin help you get through the long days? Like, how is that?
Yeah, after 12 years in business, you need some.
No, it's water. Relax.
Yeah.
The Boys Under the Hood podcast is brought to you by Lotus Business Solutions. If you own an automotive shop, James is the expert on building the business of the shop, bottom to top, whether it's systems, hiring employees, retaining employees, reaching the right customers. If you're tired of selling $20 oil changes and you want to move the money onto a better place, please contact us, lotuspe.us, and learn how we can build your automotive shop. Also, special thanks to Lotus Media. We've all got to get the word out somehow, whether it's digital, social, broadcast media. We're the experts on creating a positive, concise message to bring people into your business. And lastly, Lotus Financial. And this is something we talked about a little bit. If you're tired of doing your own books and you want to concentrate on what you do and let the admin part go somewhere else, Lotus Financial can help you there. lotuspe.us for information on all of this stuff. And obviously, leave comments, leave questions. If you have anything for us, we'd be happy to address them in a future podcast. That's what we're here for. But we're joined by Paul. We talked a little bit about your background.
Did you guys hear today? So today it's October 4th. And then, so there's this like emergency alert thing that's going to happen today at 2:20 p.m.
Yeah.
So all the conspiracy people are all on high alert today. Right? Like, I'm not like on one side of the party line or the other. Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, I mean, I care about the country and everything, but so all these conspiracy people today, they say that at 2:20 when the emergency alert thing goes off, that like all these people are going to turn into zombies. So this guy,
Wait a minute, where did this go from?
So they think that, and so this is I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, you know, like, and even Nagel was talking about it on the show this morning. And so this guy's telling me straight face, he goes, yeah, man, he goes, you know, about tomorrow, 2:30, it's 2:20, whatever he goes, they're going to do this alert, like they're going to do this broadcast alert, like they do on the radio or whatever, but I guess everybody's phones are going to go off, they're all going to buzz. And something with like the 5G signal and something that like is in the vaccines is going to make all these people get controlled by the government and turn into zombies. And I'm like, where did you hear this shit? You know? Right. So he goes, oh man, I follow this lady on Instagram and she's a time traveler.
Who's this guy you were texting?
Okay, so he goes, she's a time. He didn't laugh.
Oh, wait a minute.
I thought he was telling me a
What
joke.
does that mean? Like back to the Middle Ages and then back here? How does that go?
It's like, I don't know.
All right.
He goes, yeah, she's a time traveler, man. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like a time traveler? He's like, she travels through time and then she puts it on Instagram and then tells everybody like where things are going to happen or whatever. And I'm like, all right, so like, does it come true? And he goes, well, sometimes, sometimes, but I feel like if you're a time traveler, you either have a terrible memory or you're not a time traveler if you're wrong that much.
Right.
Right.
I mean, if you are able to go into the future, you already have the answers.
You have the answers.
So you should never be wrong.
100 out of 100 times, you're correct.
Okay, so
Does this guy also talk to himself?
So I guess he was like, yeah, man, we're pulling our kids out of school and everything today because they're worried about like the zombies.
Oh.
I know this has zero to do with cars. I just think it was a hilarious story that is supposed to take place today. But I guess if they all turn to zombies, then sweet. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool hanging out with you guys.
Good knowing you guys.
Yeah.
Good knowing you. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Great
There's not going to be
podcast.
any more. We're going to look a lot different on the next one.
So Paul, so let's just stop now abruptly. Let's talk about something else.
Where do you even go from that?
From that? So speaking of zombies, Paul, you do so much with your company for the community, right?
Nice segue.
So yeah, time travel back in time. You have all these events you do all these charity events. You're a detailer on Air Force One. You're part of that team. You detail Air Force One, and so as you're beginning to build out your company. And you started to kind of do a lot of these community events and stuff. Like, what brought that about? What brought about that change, and what led you to use that as, I guess a tool to build your brand?
So I learned that from a mentor in the detailing industry, and he's been a successful detailer for like 40 something years, and that was always big with him. And he's always said to do as much as you can for your community. I was thinking like, oh, you can't really do a lot of charity or give back until you're successful. The first couple years in business, you probably can't afford to really donate anything. You gotta grow the thing a little bit, but it doesn't mean you have to hit $1 million before you can make a charity donation. You can still help your community. So, even if it's small, you can still do something. But a lot of people recognize that, and I've always gained customers and relationships from doing events and stuff in the community. It makes you feel good. There's no real negative thing to it, so that's why we do it. And it doesn't take that much time. It's a couple days a year. Do a couple events and raise some money for different charities. But
another thing that you do is
I learned it from someone else.
You get a lot of people, like you get a lot of other businesses involved. You get this guy involved in it, and
Yep.
And you get a lot of other businesses involved. And you actually one of the things that I find incredible is that you don't ask anything of the businesses. Hey, if you can make a donation, we'll put this out there.
Yep.
We're going to put your name on our stuff. We're going to cross promote, and if you can help us, I think that's incredible. That speaks a lot to you too, because everybody kind of wants something. You know, and all you want to do is just help everybody else. I mean, that speaks volumes about you and obviously your company and the culture that you're creating there.
Yeah, thanks. I learned, when I was younger, I learned to just shut up and listen to some people that have been there and done that. And, so I listened to my mentor, Randy Doyle, famous detailer. He did a lot of community events, and so I learned how important that was and how it benefits your business, but also your community, and people remember that. And then there's another guy I met through him who I think he owned like 21 businesses. He's a serial entrepreneur out in Las Vegas, and he said that you don't ever worry about the money. That will come. He's like, just focus on your employees and your customers and your service. Like, make sure those three things are perfect. Put all your energy to that. Don't worry about any money at all. He's like, it'll happen. Just if you're in it for the long run and you're patient, it'll come. Just put your focus somewhere else. Don't look at customers as a number.
That's really cool.
Or don't look at the money. It's always, is the customer happy? Did the car come out good? That's what I've been focusing on. We still focus on it. You have to be aware of how much money you're making, but if you're doing it for a long time, you want to have a good reputation. You want the customers to be happy. You can't just look at them like dollar signs. You got to really, same with the community. You can't just look at, that's why I don't ask sponsors. I get other businesses involved, but I got so much, I gained so much business from cross-promoting and co-branding with other businesses. Do you remember Carrabba's in West Springfield?
Carrabba's, yeah.
I just walked in one day. I was at a business chamber, networking event, and I met the guy. And then I walked in one day randomly when he was open and just talked to him like, hey, do you want to cross-promote? So I ended up getting little flyers on every single table at Carrabba's for a couple months with my logo on it. And it was buy a Carrabba's gift card and get one of my gift cards with it or something like that. And we made it like an Italian food kind of advertisement. It was really cool, but that's like a big restaurant chain, but not anymore. But I think they're kind of winding down, but they were big at the time.
And so do you find your ability to put yourself out there? You find a lot of business owners now that are like, well, I don't want to advertise, and I don't want to ask for reviews, and I don't want to call a customer and follow up with them. I don't want to do this stuff. You know, there's almost like this shame involved around them trying to reach out. Like how, you know, obviously you're the absolute opposite of that. Do you feel like that's been a huge tool for you to, you know, to really begin to grow, like being able to reach out, being able to take that feedback, being able to really stay in touch with your client?
Oh yeah. I think that's what allowed me to grow, is the willingness and, you know, ability to just do whatever I needed to do to get it done. You know, if the customer's not happy, fix the situation, or just take the extra effort and follow up with them, or ask them for a review, or even that one customer that needs 10 follow-ups before he'll finally make an appointment. Just that persistence to actually make it work, and have patience with them and listen to all their concerns and take your time and not pressure them either into the sale. Just be patient and wait for them to be ready financially. I've gotten so much business from that too.
Low pressure beats high pressure any day.
Yeah.
It's people, I remember one time years ago, I was gonna buy, I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, and I needed like some training, you know? This guy,
Hitting that vodka over
the
there.
vodka, yeah. It is odorless too, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
Cold
crazy.
Spring makes water. I mean, vodka. It's good.
So the guy, you know, the guy's trying to sell me this program, and I didn't have the money for it. I think it was like $10,000 or $12,000 or something, and you know, I didn't have the money. And I remember thinking about like how much I wanted it, just because he was so passive about his sales pitch about it. Like, I don't know, you either want it or you don't. You know, it was so basic, and I remember being like so intrigued and kind of drawn to. I mean, I didn't get it. I didn't have the money for it, but. You know, I just remember like wanting it so bad, because he almost like didn't want me to like he was just like, I don't know, you know, if you want it, if you can afford it, you know. And
wow.
Yeah, it was totally psychological. Obviously.
I was gonna say that's counterintuitive.
Oh
that
my
maybe
gosh,
he was
yeah.
doing that intentionally, right?
Yeah.
So that you wanted that thing, because that's how it goes, right? Any kid, you tell them not to do something, they're gonna do that thing.
Yeah.
It would have worked if I had the money.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I got a couple of customers to book appointments for that exact same thing, where they call and ask for an estimate, and you know, let's say a full detail, and I'll say, yeah, that's $595 for a full detail, and they're like, that's a lot of money, $600, that's a lot of money, and I'm like, thank you, but he's like, can you do any better? And I'm like, yeah, I can do $700. Better for you or for me? And I'm just joking with him, like, no, you know, tell me more about the car. And then I realized it's probably not as dirty as we're thinking. Okay, yeah, I could probably do it for like $450, $500, you know, but I'd really have to see the car to give you an exact price. And he's like, that's still more. I'm looking to spend like $150, $200, like, you know, and I'm like, well.
We would drive through car wash.
What's your wife doing later?
He's like, I got, or you know, he said something like, I got a quote from somewhere else for like $400 or something. Will you match the price? And I'm like, no, we don't do price matching. We're not Walmart, but you know, you can go wherever you want, but no, we can't lower the price. I can't afford to. I pay my guys well, and I just kind of like left it at that. Just kind of brushed him off politely. I'm like, no, well, if you need anything, let me know. But yeah. The best we could do is like around $500 or so, and I thought he was going to go to the cheaper guy, and then he ended up calling back later. Yeah, he just let him think about it. You know, I was like, yeah, if you want him, I was like, if he's doing it cheaper, like $300, $400, if you want him to, you know, he's got to cut corners somewhere. I kind of mentioned it to him, like no one works for free.
Time plus materials.
Yeah, right? I'm like, if he's half the price of what I'm charging, there's another guy that's around the same price as me, around $600. I'm like. If he's half the price, then what is he gonna get it done faster? Is he gonna cut corners? Where is he gonna cut? You know, just be careful. Make sure you look at his reviews and look into him before you know, you might not like the detail he does, but you can go wherever you want. And then I just kind of like didn't care, and then he called back and booked like an hour later, you know.
So that sounds similar to your business model, because you and Maddie come across the same thing with people coming in. Oh, so and so can do it for this much. How do you react to that?
Go fucking have them do it.
You think
no,
that.
I don't. Yeah,
think that.
no. I you know, you spend a lot of time investing in your business, and so whether that be for intellectual property and building your systems and building your vendors and getting better vendors so you can get better materials, and dealing with all of your people and how you hire and how you, like, all of these things, all of this equipment, all of this stuff goes into building your business and making it the best thing possible. Why on earth would, at the end of the day, if you spent all of this time to try to make a product that's better than everybody around you, why would you at the end of the day say, well, I'm also going to do it cheaper than everyone, even though it costs me more? Like, why would you race to the bottom?
Yeah.
And I find that, like, a lot of like trade-based businesses, people are incredible at what they do, but guys are getting burned out because of a lot of the interaction with some customers now, right? And and so whether that's outside influence, right, the conspiracy theorists, right, they'll tell you the world's gone crazy now, and so whether you subscribe to that or whether you just you feel that you need to adopt better policies, I think that everybody has a level of that, and people are tight on money right now too.
Yeah.
People are really tight on money, and there's some struggles out there, so we need to be cognizant of that. But at the end of the day, like, a good part, good material, good training, and making sure that the job is perfect is not cheap.
No.
And if that is not for you, there are other options for detailers and auto repair shops and everything,
Yeah.
But like my construction company, it's I can't tell you the amount of people when you're like, when can you do it? Well, I don't know, I'm 6 months out. About 5-6 months out, people are like, oh, okay, I really want you. You must be incredible if you're 5-6 months out. It's like that again, that passive nature. But it's all about like having the right people, right? Having the right people, and you understand what your workload is and all of that stuff. Like, can you speak to that? Like, all of these things that you do to build your brand in the community and then to build your systems and everything. Like, how does that translate over to finding people? That's the biggest like hot button issue that people have right now, is finding good people that want to come in and work. Like, how do you do with that?
So, obviously you have the best equipment, you have training, you have you reinvest in your brand and your advertising and your shop. We made our shop look the best we can.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Why do all of that and then have a crappy employee or a cheap employee? I look at all the parts are equal. I say we have high-end clients. We don't do high-end cars. We deal with high-end clients. I've had a Ferrari in the shop and a Corolla at the same time, and they both paid the same price because they got the same service. But they're both great people. So I always looked at the employees as another part of the business that I want to be high quality. So if you're gonna get high quality people, you gotta pay them good. And I learned this the hard way. I didn't always pay people the highest, but as a business owner, you learn from experience. You learn things the hard way. That's the best way to learn them. Learn from your mistakes, but I pay my employees as much as possible. I say as long as the bills are paid and I'm paid, any leftover money, we have to set some money aside for the company, but I do like profit sharing bonuses, and I give them plenty of incentives, commissions. I pay them nicely, an nice hourly wage. It's way above minimum wage. That I was just in conversation with someone the other day talking about their HVAC job, and he's making like $18 an hour, and talking about how it's pretty good because he's got a commission bonus and stuff, but they're starting to cap it at $10,000 per year or something, and he's going to look for another job. And I'm listening to this, I'm thinking in my head, I'm paying people like double that to wash cars. I'm like, and I never paid attention to like what other industries are paying per hour, but I'm like, oh wow, I never really fully understood where I stand, but I wanted them to pay them the best I could. They're there for the money, obviously. One of my employees said, he's like, Paul, I hate to break it to you, but I'm just here for the money. He's very like dry humor, sarcastic.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, yeah, Steve, we all are.
Yeah.
like we all love cars, we're passionate, but at the end of the day, we have a mortgage to pay.
It's what you can do with it, right?
Yeah.
It's what you can do with the money. The money doesn't motivate anybody.
Yeah,
it's the things that you can get with it.
Yeah, the lifestyle and everything. And, everyone works for money, obviously. But so I want to pay them well and make them feel respected and like valued, And I learned this from one of the best managers I ever had at Enterprise. I basically copied everything that he's done, and added my own twist to it. But he would always make you feel important, give you more responsibility. Employees want to feel like they're trusted with more responsibility. And I didn't get that in the beginning years, but I learned it later. So you gotta, as a business owner, you can be very controlling in the beginning and want to do everything, but it's really hard to learn how to delegate and get some pressure off yourself and let people and trust them to just get the job done. They're gonna make mistakes, but just let them do it and pay them for it, and they'll get better. But yeah, it's just making sure the work environment's good, the employees are treated right and paid well, and you have happy customers that way. They'll treat the business like it's their own because they feel like they're part of the business. They're not just there to work. They're there to grow the business. And as the business grows, I give them bonuses and stuff like that. I told them, you're going to grow with the business. You're going to get paid more as we grow, because if the business makes more, I make more, and why shouldn't you make more? So kind of involve them and make them part of the process.
It seems like a lot of people have, almost forgotten those basics, right? Like that's something that has never changed. Even if people and their thought process have changed, that's never changed. Like people always want to go after goals. People always want structure. They always want to be treated well. They want more responsibility. They want to be paid well. Like these are all basic things. And a lot of business owners don't do that. And those business owners that don't are those guys that are like, I can't find people. People aren't worth a shit. No one wants to work. And all the years that I've known you, I've never heard you say anything like that. You've always been such a tremendously positive guy,
Yeah, those people that say I can't find good employees, there's no good employees out there. What are they paying their current employees?
They want to pay $12, $14 an hour. They don't invest into equipment. They don't invest into their company in terms of their own time. Like they're just not doing these things to evolve because they've been doing it this way forever. Yeah. And then now all of a sudden they've got a parachute behind them because they refuse to evolve. Like think about how different business is. I'm sorry, it was 14 years you've been in business, or 12 years?
12.
12 years.
Yeah, sorry, 2011.
And so think about how different it was in 2011 versus 2023. Like it's exponentially just how we market our businesses, how we talk to customers, how we communicate with the customers. Everything is totally different, and then the use of social media, right? So like, I don't even know when we started using social media. It had to be sometime around 2010, right? I don't know. It's got to be, right? I mean, it's got to be, but like, I don't even know how people marketed their business before that.
It started with MySpace.
Newspaper, on the radio, right? Radio's still tried and true.
I'm lucky I'm old enough to remember the Yellow Book.
Yellow Book.
Yellow Book. Younger kids don't even know what a phone book is,
Right. Do you know what my first, so 18 years ago this week, my first, so now, we own a media company, and so we're pretty dialed in, and it's evolved tremendously. But my first marketing campaign was 18 years ago this week. And so what I did was I went to a print shop, and I took $100 or something, and I got a bunch of these neon yellow paper flyers printed. Mm-hmm. All I did was I made a Word doc, hey, we're open and come in and see us, and way too many words, a terribly written ad, it was just all of these words. I wanted everybody to know every single thing about us the first week. And so I went to Century Center in West Springfield because our shop was on Bosworth Street at the time. And so my first marketing campaign was to take all of these damn flyers and walk around and put them under windshield wipers of every car.
I did that too.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I went back and I sat in my chair and I was like, let the money roll in.
Waiting for that phone to ring.
Oh my goodness. And so that phone rang and people were like, don't touch my fucking car.
Yep, that's what they said to me.
Do not put your shit on my car. I had people threatening me, yelling at me. And
that sounds like a great tactic.
It was like that. And, but that was
you broke my wiper blade.
I'm suing you. It was a very unsuccessful marketing campaign. But I get the phone to ring.
Any publicity is good publicity, right?
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what they say. But I can only imagine. I know we've had conversations, and you said you did similar. It's crazy to see how.
Yeah, I did at the Hoyok Mall.
Yeah,
I got yelled at.
Yeah. People don't like it. Yeah, but at the time, I was like, "This is marketing, man. I'm gonna build this business."
Did you? Do you still have any of those flyers?
No. I saved like all my laptops. I probably have it in one of those.
Yeah, I love to see the old stuff like that. I found my first business card like recently. It's the coolest thing.
So these are all of my business cards.
Look at that.
Through the years.
Oh, you saved them all the way back.
Isn't that funny? So I got all my
It's
business
funny
cards.
to see the first.
This
one.
was my first one. It was awful. It was like a picture of a Lamborghini. We don't even really service those. And then I think I went into this one.
Yeah,
and then this one. And so I've got all these different business cards. And then now I think so now my business card is one of these
I remember this one.
These magic things, right? You just like you tap it to somebody's phone, and then all your contact info pulls up. And so now because I own multiple businesses, this has all of them on it.
Yeah.
And so I
now
can
it's
just
all on a website, and you click which one.
Yeah, so I can I can go. I use this is called a Popl, P-O-P-L.
Yeah.
And so you just tap it to somebody's phone, and everything will pull up, or they've got a QR code. And then if I'm going to go to an event, right? If I say, okay, well today I'm working for my construction company, and so I can go into the app real quick, and I can set it so that the construction one is my main card. Now I'm going to an event for Precision Auto or one of my other repair shops. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring up those business cards, or I'm gonna do it for the private equity company, or business solutions or whatever. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's crazy to see how things will go. Like just the technology. Could you imagine that something like this existed even then?
Hang on for 1 second, because this is James's first business card, and on it says, specializing in general automotive repair.
Specializing in general.
And there's a Lamborghini there. That's general automotive repair.
It's pretty cool, right?
No, it's slick.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember trying to even save up money for this. Right? Yeah, I specialized in general repair.
That is
this card cost me like $280 for like 50 cards or something. It's the most expensive business card I ever had in my life, and I didn't even have $280 then.
Yeah.
Like barely even had it. Isn't that crazy to see how these all evolve?
My first card said like, I think I heard an ad on Town Fair tires like, we'll beat any competitor's price by 5%. So I copied that.
Don't do that.
This card, yeah.
Let the money roll in, dude.
So where does this go for you? I mean, is your business going to continue to grow? You're looking at a bigger facility, more staff. How does this go for Paul Frasco today?
Eventually we need a bigger shop. I moved into a decent sized one finally. That we kept outgrowing shops, and we were subleasing shops, and then we finally got our own, and it was big enough. We can still make it work for a few more years, but I know I'm gonna need a bigger space.
That's a tough problem to have.
Yeah, but I'm still understanding the market that we're in, and I think I'm trying to find that sweet spot of how big I can get versus when you get too big and the profits start to go down or it starts to hurt you. Every market I think has a sweet spot for how the size of a certain business versus how many customers there are and things like that, and your competitors. I have a friend that owns a detail shop in Chicago. He has one shop that's like 16,000 square feet, another one that's like 5,000 square feet. So he has two locations in Chicago area. He's got 30 employees. I think he grosses like $4 million a year.
Wow.
And it's just a big operation, but I'm like, there could never be anything like that in this area. I don't know. That'll be, yeah, it's just, I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. It just doesn't seem realistic in this market, this population. But in Chicago, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Different world.
Yeah.
Different market, totally different.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much, man, for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having
awesome
me.
to talk to you.
Thanks for the insight, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's good. Paul Frasco, owner of Pro and Local Detailing in Connecticut, the best in the business, and busting his butt over many years to get there. And you heard the mistakes.
Yeah.
Great insight, man. Appreciate it.
700 5-star reviews. Like everybody can't be wrong. Really, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That is no small feat. Great job.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much for coming in and talk to us.
Before we get out of here, I need to thank Lotus Business Solutions. If you own an automotive shop in particular, contact us. Systems, employees, hiring, financials, all of that. Lotus Business Solutions. Also Lotus Media, if you need a clear message to bring people into your business, it's what we do. And Lotus Financial, you don't need to be doing your books if you're a mechanic. If you're an owner of a shop, you don't need to be doing your books. Lotus Financial can help you out there. LotusPE.us for all the information. We're glad to help you. Please leave a comment, leave a question. And I want to say next week on the Boys Under the Hood podcast, we'll be joined by Alfonso from G&A Auto, who specialize in import vehicles.
Awesome shop, awesome people.
So that'll be a treat to have him on as well.
Yeah, great shop. Cool, man.
Paul, James, see you next time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See you at 2:20.